in the scene, I guess. How much does that help? It's like deja vu coming back here.
Yeah, first time for me, obviously, this year. We're familiar with the setup and how things work, obviously, being here last year. So, makes it a little bit more convenient.
What would you say about the battle in the creases to this point? We've seen Bennett with a few bumps there on Skinner. How do you guys feel you've done getting to their guy? What's that battle in the battle been like?
Yeah, it's been a battle at both nets. Obviously, you don't like when guys are purposely falling into your goaltender. That's never good, and you hope that gets noticed. But I think both teams, and we're making it a point to go hard and go even harder as the series goes on to their net.
Might be handled different in a regular season, though. Fair to say, like it's not a situation where you can just go and somebody bumps your goalie.
Yeah, you can't go out and take a 5 or 2, 5, and a 10 here, right? In the first period, so that wouldn't help anybody. But there's other ways to handle it, and staying aggressive, and like I said, going hard to their net as well.
Coaches would say that they're a little confused when they're trying to make a goalie interference challenge. They're not always sure. As a player on the ice, are you always sure what's allowed around goalies anymore?
No. I learned that lesson probably once they started kind of cracking down on that rule a long time ago. So, I think we've seen a lot of calls go different ways, and it's hard to kind of determine. You like to think there's some obvious ones, but every now and again you get surprised sometimes.
What's been the key to the success on the road for you guys this year?
Well, I think we play the same way for the most part. I think we're not deterred by hostile environments or tough places to play. I think we want to take the game to the other team, and that hasn't really changed in the playoffs. And we also know in order to win in the playoffs, you have to be able to win on the road, and that's really important. And we've done a good job of that thus far. And we've put ourselves in a position where we're going to have to do that now.
You guys don't seem to thrive in hostile environments, like particularly, like the hostile in LA and Vegas and Dallas. Is it just it brings out energy? Like even if it's negative towards you guys, does that still give you energy?
Yeah, I think I'm sure they were probably saying the same thing. I think they were probably in Edmonton. The whole city's against them, and they want to come out and ruin your night. And we're looking to ruin Florida's night tonight.
If Nuge can't go today, I guess how does that change the dynamic?
I have no idea. I'm not going to give you anything there.
Evander, just a question about Evan Bouchard. Where do you see the biggest growth in his game in the last this season, especially maybe when you were on the outside looking in and watching him play?
Yeah, I think Bouch is a guy that his intensity, his defensive detail has gotten better and more consistent, and throughout the rest of the playoffs, he's elevated that, and he gets a lot of opportunity. He plays in a lot of big situations, and we're going to need him to continue to be a good player for us.